Hey everybody, Metalfro here with another video review. This time we're looking at Floodline's excellent sophomore album, Beneath the Waves. This is a fantastic prog metal CD, and when I say progressive, I don't necessarily mean the long drawn-out songs and the intricate musicianship and long passages. This album has that, but when I say progressive, here I really mean that the band is doing something unique and something different, and they don't really sound like anyone else that I'm familiar with. They kind of describe their sound as Alice in Chains meets Opeth meets Meshuggah. And there are elements like that in there. You know, they've got the dual vocals, kind of the harmonizing vocals going on, very similar to Alice in Chains. They've got a Meshuggah type of gruff vocal and sort of riff-heavy kind of thing going on. And then a little bit of the Opeth in terms of the longer songs, you know, intricate structures and various different things, but it really goes a lot more beyond that. And so I don't think the band does themselves a disservice necessarily by utilizing that description, but fans or people getting into the band should know that that description is really more kind of a jumping off point for the band, and it doesn't really describe their sound as a whole. It's just sort of a place to kind of think about their sound, but it's really a lot more expansive than that. This is an excellent CD because we've got great songs. There's a variety of different tempos and kind of feelings and things on the CD. It's pretty expressive. There are some things about the vocals I would say that they're very well done, but obviously having that kind of harmonized dual vocal thing going on with that sort of Alice in Chains sort of feel. It's not as expressive as it could be, but it works very well in this setting, and I think listeners would be pleased with the result, as I was. One of the things that's really neat about this CD is there's a lot of little subtle things going on that you may not pick up the first time. The first time I listened through to the album, I didn't quite notice some of the interesting keyboard textures in there, like the sort of Hammond B3 type of organ sound that you hear in the first track a little bit in, and a few of the other things that just kind of stuck out after multiple listens. The other thing I noticed was that this is a kind of a dense album in the sense that you really have to listen to it several times to kind of get through the whole thing and really start to feel as though you understand the music and that you really get a sense of how expansive it is. That's not to say that it's not enjoyable the first time through. I was captivated the first time through when I listened to it, but I think upon multiple listens you really start to hear more elements and you start to get more out of each listen, which is why this CD has been in near constant rotation for me for probably the last 4 months, and that's a pretty impressive thing because I buy a fair amount of music and I acquire a lot of CDs, and I listen to a lot of music, but this is one of those CDs that has just kept me coming back for more time and time again. Okay, you heard some tracks there. In the intro to the review, you heard a little bit of track 1, Show Me the Way. Then during the song section, you heard part of track 2, Innocence Lost, part of track 4, Sink or Swim, part of track 7, Search for Reason, and part of track 9, Far Apart. And I would say that based on those samples alone, it's pretty easy to see that this is good material and worth buying, but it's really not enough. I would say check out their MySpace and do a search for Floodline on MySpace and listen to several full songs. Sink or Swim and Rhythm of the Sea, a couple of others are on there. I would say go check it out, listen to the songs all the way through, and judge from that, because this is just one of those CDs that, a couple of samples, a few seconds here and there, really doesn't do it justice. You have to hear the whole song or several songs to really get a feel for what it's all about, and have an appreciation for the music and what it is that they're doing. And so I would say this is highly recommended. I can't say enough about the CD. Probably my favorite progressive metal album overall of 2009, and it's just been a constant player in my CD player and on my MP3 player. This has been a video review. I'm Metal Fro. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out my radio show, The Gamut, every Sunday night on blabberjesusradio.com, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you next time.